How's it going, everybody? We are back with another episode of Secret Houses. I hope you are enjoying the episodes thus far. And this time, I am back to talk about how Taurus women do reverse psychology. The long-awaited, the most anticipated video, I would say, of 2017. Right? So, let's get to it. How does Taurus women do this? And you know what? I think this is a great time to actually do the video because just recently, I'm not sure if she's a subscriber or not, but someone had commented on the Taurus Pisces man video, the initial one, the original one, and they, unlike most Taurus women that I converse with, they kind of admitted to doing reverse psychology, not in those words. However, they said, sometimes I do that to challenge the Pisces man to see if they can disprove my theory or show me something new. And I was like, I didn't think about it like that. And I truly didn't. I thought that, and this is why I always said it doesn't ever work, because I always pick up on it when it happens. And I thought that this was like some type of instigation or Taurus woman antagonizing the Pisces man by doing this reverse psychology thing. So let me give an example of how a Taurus woman can use reverse psychology. Like a Taurus woman will say something like, you know what, I was just talking with my cousin the other day and she was telling me how you're not good for me because you're a hoe. And because, we have this type of relationship where, you can come and go as you please, how I pretty much explained in the video, right? And, and then she'll do something like this, like, but I told her that's not true because you don't sleep, you hardly have sex at all. That's something that a Taurus woman would say. Now, the reason why I'm using this as an example is because, by the way I say that, you would probably think that, oh, okay, the Taurus woman knows that you're not having sex with other women like that you're only having sex with her, whatever the case may be. However, that may not be true at all, and this is why I'm using that as an example. Taurus woman will say that to see what the Pisces man response to that is. And what she wants to do is find out if you're sleeping with other women or not. You understand what I'm saying? So it opens up another conversation. So right after she says something like that, she pauses, right? And a lot of times, Pisces have a difficulty being dishonest. If you ask them a question, it's like they want to tell you the truth. Like they just can't wait to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? Or there's a flip side to that. Or they want to dodge around it and like ask you a question instead of answering the question, right? So with this being said, like this can prompt me or a Pisces man to respond and say, no, I'm having sex with plenty of women. What are you talking about? Or the opposite and say, well, yeah, that's true. Well, why would you tell her my business like that? You understand what I'm saying? Instead of the Taurus woman simply asking, are you having sex like that? Or are you having sex? Like something tells me you're having sex. Instead of asking the question plainly and simple, they'll do something like that, which is reverse psychology. Another way that they can do this, right, is, let me give another example, is saying something like, describing another man, right, that has different characteristics than you do, and even going as far to say how maybe they enjoyed their company or the man did something for them, a nice gesture, helped them out. Because to me, Taurus women are pretty honest too. You know what I mean? Once you get to know them, it's like, oh, they could find out that they don't have to hide anything from you and they can speak to you like that. Then everything is cool. So I definitely give them a high rating on that. However, still, this reverse psychology thing happens to where they're only doing this description of this man or this explanation of this man to see how the Pisces man responds to it. And the longer that the Pisces man lets her speak about it, the longer she's going to go. So she'll pause. You know how Taurus women could be gradual and a bit patient as they're speaking and cool and calm. And a Pisces man will be like, oh, yeah, keep on going. The Taurus woman will keep on going. Now, come to find out, what she's doing is she wants to know, put it this way, she likes you. You know what I'm saying? She's probably in love with you, but what she's doing is she's creating this atmosphere of a potential possibility of her feeling for someone else, right? And in some cases, this may be true. So even when I say, Taurus women are pretty honest, they're also kind of sneaky, kind of. And this is where this comes in. Maybe she's coaxing the Pisces man to see if she can slip that in there, how she actually has feelings or cares for another man and wants to see how you respond to it. However, she's doing it in a way to where, as the woman who commented on the video that I was talking about earlier, is challenging or, challenging what her theory of an ideal man is supposed to be or a boyfriend is supposed to be. So that's why she's putting it out there in such a way. The story was probably not a spur of the moment conversation. It was premeditated. She thought about starting this conversation with the Pisces man before he even arrived or before she even arrived. And this is part of her strategy. This is part of her plan, because Tauruses are major planners. Whether it's going to be you as a significant other in the long run, you as some type of partner, she's trying to fit you in there some type of way. So she's like building a case almost, if you will, you know what I mean? Not like a Scorpio would build a case. This is something much different. However, like a fixed sign would build a case. So, my thing with that, right, is why go through all that? Because my initial theory on this, my take on this, right, is I think Taurus woman is confused about whether they want to fit into an individualistic society or a collective society, or if they want their significant other, the man that they're dating, to be in an individualistic society or a collectivist society. Because when you use a scenario like the one I used with, explaining or creating an atmosphere where another man exists who's described as nothing like you, behavior-wise, everything, right? Nothing like you, physical attributes, nothing like you. What that's doing is it's pitting one man against another, right? And that's individualistic society gestures. That's what happens in individualistic societies, you know what I mean? And, my thing is, like, I'm not quick-tempered anymore. And really, I'm not. Like, so I'm not the jealous type either. So I wouldn't explode on a Taurus woman and be like, why are you telling me about this dude? Like, shut up. Like, I won't be offended by that at all. And I think Taurus women, you need to know this. If you don't, like, Pisces men are aware of competing, because to me, that's what this reverse psychology was used for initially. Now I got more insight from the lady that commented. I thanked her on the YouTube channel too, because she really gave me something to look at. So I don't look at it just like totally closed-minded. But yeah, I think that competing thing, Pisces men, we understand competition exists. However, we don't begin our day to compete. We don't look at the marketplace and say, oh, they came out with that, now I'm coming out with this, or I'm going to do this now. Kudos to you if you're doing it, and hope you get it right if you're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's how a Pisces man thinks about it. And like I said, initially I thought that the Taurus woman is gauging the Pisces man against another man so she can determine what type of man she wants to be with, or determine what type of man that Pisces man is. However, now with this new insight, maybe it's just a challenge that she does not know where she wants to be placed in society or where her man is to be placed in society. I have yet to observe or identify a Taurus woman saying what her type is. You know what I mean? And I think she's very gradual or very patient in not explaining that, because she doesn't want to burn her bridges. You understand what I'm talking about? She may like you, but maybe to the rest of society you're corny or something like that, or to the masses or to the majority you're not popular, so to speak. Not corny, but not popular. You're not part of popular literature or culture, so she doesn't know how to set herself, be seen with you in certain lights or certain areas like that. They won't make a decision in that moment once they have triggered the response from the Pisces man. They did not reveal whether they could live with that type of expression or not. After all of that, that's what bugs me out. Like, even after using all the reverse psychology to get a type of response, it's like you didn't even do it with this. It's not justified. Like, you're not even saying whether or not it made sense to do that. So not only is it evident, it becomes nerve-wracking after a while, because you realize this and you're like, oh man, like, why? Like, this is another way, and another example of how Taurus women can use reverse psychology, right? Check this out. Like I said in the other video, nurture versus love, you know, I could be using language. I'm better as a nurturer, you know what I mean? I speak to people, I'm more calm, I'm more reserved in these days. And the Taurus woman can trigger a response in me that I determine is the worst of me because I'm using foul language, and they may come to the conclusion that that's the real you. However, in all actuality, what they want is for you to speak in a certain way that relates to them more. This is my theory, right? And I think it's like a rebellious technique to say, listen, I don't want you to speak calmly. I don't want you to be reserved and relaxed, because society sees those type of mannerisms as this, as that. You know what I mean? I think they really, in the back of their mind, they base their perceptions or their decisions on these types of expressions. You understand what I'm talking about? And I'm not going to compete in that race to be like, oh yeah, well, I'm always going to be on edge and energetic every time I see you, because I know that that's the type of men that you favor. If that's the type of men that you favor, you can tell me that, and you can date men that are like that, and we could still be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, Taurus women is like, this is why I say it's good for Taurus women and Pisces men to be friends, but it's like once you get in cahoots with them like that, it's like they want to cause conflict in your life, or with whether it's with them or with someone that they deal with. And I thought like other signs were more into that than I thought Taurus would be. You know what I mean? But I found out that this is not until later on down the road that they're involved with you, that they gauge you to see how you respond to certain situations. And I'll tell a Taurus woman every time, like, I see what can happen the way you moving like this, and like I'll tell a dude straight up, like, I'm not fighting you over her. I'll tell a dude in his face, like, I'm not going to war with you over her, because I know she set this atmosphere for us to do this. You understand what I'm talking about? So it's like, back to what I was saying, with it being evident is so distasteful, and hence the reason why I didn't even want to do this video, because it's like, I don't even like thinking back on two times when Taurus women has done this. Now, Taurus women all over that are watching, like, don't take this to heart. You know what I mean? It's not you. I've had certain Taurus women that say they don't do this. And I also had certain Taurus women that said, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you please explain it to me? So, I understand that this is not a universal thing. However, for the most part, I've seen it happen more than once.
To your avatar. Let's update each other's repertoire. As above, as below, I happen to her avatar.